part of your phenakistoscopes. And each worksheet has 12 spaces where you need to fill out some kind of design. Okay. And I want you to think of each space in between these little lines, these little brackets, as a frame in an animation. So remember, each time that you move to a new frame section, it's kind of like a slice in a pie or a pizza. It's kind of like a triangular shape. You want to make sure that you're slightly moving whatever it is that you're drawing, a bird, a ball, a cloud, whatever it happens to be, that you're slightly moving it. So when we put it into motion and we spin it, it looks like it's actually moving. I want to remind you too, you can use Google or any other like online searches that you want. If you know you want to do, say, a butterfly, like this example that a student did in the past, you can search butterfly and the words frame by frame animation, and it will come up with lots of examples of exactly how something might move in different stages. And you can kind of use that to copy. Okay, I'm not grading you as much on your artistic ability. I'm just grading you on the fact that you can make something appear to move in some way. You can do something really cool with stick people. That's perfectly fine for this project. Again, I just want to be able to see the motion. Okay. You do want to make sure you keep your design within your parameters of your triangle, but I would try and fill up the space. This one could use a little bit more design kind of in the center. Don't forget about the center of the piece. You could give it something very simple in there if you would like. One of the other things that I talked to you about kind of at the very end of class last week was how if you have a design in mind, you can draw it once and you can transfer it or make a stamp of it so that you can easily trace your own drawing over and over again. I want to go back over how to do that if you don't remember, just to make it a little bit easier. So, as I mentioned before, everything is kind of like a slice. Okay. Now, I know on my worksheet, I drew these lines here. You can draw your lines in pencil, but it is very important that even if you draw the lines in pencil, once you're done, we need to erase those lines. Okay. Those lines make it harder to kind of see a seamless flow of animation when you spin it. So you can use the lines to help you draw all you want. But once you get everything drawn and colored in, we'll need to erase those lines if you've got them. Okay. Don't outline them in Sharpie. Don't make them permanent. Just know that they'll have to eventually disappear. But the reason I usually outline one is I'll take a blank sheet of paper. I'll just kind of set it on top of my circle and I will trace that little triangle shape so I know how much space I have. Okay. And I've given a lot of you a blank sheet of paper. If you don't have one, I will gladly bring some around as soon as I get done going over directions. But you could take this little blank triangle and you can draw whatever your design is that you want to do in it. So like I've got a heart that I started up here. There's a sun and clouds and flowers on this one, or there's a little torchic that I tried to make here. And what this does is this just helps you save some time and stress of having to draw things over again. Now, I can't make it exactly the same every single time. I'm going to have to change something about it. Like this one down here with the sun and the cloud, maybe I would make the cloud move. So I wouldn't always draw the cloud in the same place when I trace it, but I could trace the flower in the same place and I could trace the sun in the same place and just move the cloud. Okay, on Torchic, I plan to move his little feathers or his little flames on top of his head and his little legs. So what I'll do is I'll just trace the main part of his body over and over again, and then I'll draw those elements in each space a little bit differently. But what you'll do is if you want to draw it once and make a stamp, draw it inside your triangle, and then flip your paper over and you want to fill up the back side of that triangle with a lot of pencil lead. And I know a lot of you are using mechanical pencils like I am on the screen too. Okay, I don't want you to waste all your lead in your mechanical pencil, and it's really easy to break them and it just ends up being a light gray color. I have wooden pencils that smudge and are really dark on the table in the middle of the classroom. You are welcome to grab one of those just to color in the backside and make it really thick. But you want to have a whole lot of lead on there. That's essentially like you're putting ink on a stamp so that you can stamp it over and over again. And what you'll do then is you'll line your triangle up with a blank spot on your worksheet. So I'll line it up, and pressing down really hard with my pencil, I'll just trace over my original drawing so that it imprints that lead that's on the back of the paper onto my worksheet. And it easily lets me trace what I want to create over and over again. So I've got like Torchic's head there. Okay, so that's a very easy way to make your own stamp for the project. You don't have to do that. It's not required, but if that will make it easier on you, I want you to work smarter and not harder. Okay. What questions does anyone have at the moment? I would draw everything in pencil first. And I do recommend, just because it's so hard to see when you spin it, you're going to have to outline it in Sharpie. If you get ready to outline in Sharpie today, on the table in the middle of the classroom, I have thin Sharpies, I have thick Sharpies, I have tons of Sharpies. Okay. I also have colored pencils. You do need to add color to your design, at least one color, at least one. I've got tons of colored pencils up there. I have regular colors. I have like different skin tones. I have metallics and neon and other things. Help yourself to anything you need up there. Erasers, okay? When you do get done outlining everything in Sharpie, take one of the big erasers and just erase all your pencil lines off of there so there's nothing kind of lingering that might mess up the flow of your animation. Okay? Anybody got any questions? You guys are so quiet. Okay, cool. I'm going to let you work. Today is going to be pretty quiet, pretty easy day in that respect.